Good morning, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of VTV. I'm Jack.
And I'm Ben. A couple weeks ago, Triton athletes from each of the fall sports participated in a day of work projects around town as a way to give back to the community.
Ben here put together this first story so we could see what the day was like. Check it out.
On a fall weekend, the Triton Athletics decided to give back to their communities, from helping the elderly to cleaning a cemetery. What made you come up with this idea?
Every year for Memorial Day, I go around town, I place flags in the veteran graves, and when I came to this cemetery in particular, I discovered a lot of veteran graves were covered in overgrown bushes or with trees burying them. So the idea came from, I wanted to free up the headstones to enable me to put flags out for Memorial Day and Veterans Day.
How did you come up with the idea to have all the sports teams do a community service project?
You know, it's something that I've done in the past and been part of as a coach and as an athlete. And I think it's just very vital for student athletes and coaches to kind of give back to the communities they came from, because that's the same communities when they graduate, hopefully they're going to live in. And it's building that really strong foundation for a community-based school system and athletic program.
Getting out and doing something for somebody other than ourselves. That's what playing on a team sport's all about. We're out, no one's required to be here, and the kids are here working their tails off and making this place look a little bit better. And it seems like it's been neglected for a long time, and the kids are working hard and doing something for somebody else.
The opportunity to go out into Newbury and help the community in itself in terms of the veterans, just the families of the loved ones who are in the cemetery, I think was a great eye-opener for a lot of the students to see the condition of the cemetery. Spend a couple hours out of there on a Sunday afternoon was a fantastic opportunity for the kids to actually give back to something that's valuable in our community.
The graveyard's filled with 50 to 70% of veterans, and we just want to clean it up and help those people out.
We're doing it as a school and a team. All the sports are doing it this fall, or all the sports team this fall are doing it.
Personally, it's not really something you should get out of it. It's to help the community and to make it look nice for the veterans that come visit.
Kind of bring us together as a team, giving back to everyone and stuff. We're just doing team bonding stuff off the field. Start bringing all this stuff, bring us together. It's good.
Sense of accomplishment for doing something good for the community and doing something good for people who might be forgotten about.
I truly believe that when you do things for other people, things come back to you. I believe in karma. The kids should take a lot of pride in doing something like this as a community, as a whole Triton community, that everyone's out here working. We're going to come together as a team a lot better, I personally think, on the field, off the field. Communicate with each other a lot more and just work harder.
A sense of responsibility, there's a sense of ownership for the community. This is something that we can easily fix and rectify and move through.
Hopefully they're getting the same thing out of this that I am, and maybe getting a little closer as a team and doing something together.
Sometimes as student athletes and as coaches, we forget that long before us were these people in the community that helped build the programs for us to be able to participate with. And these are the same people and organizations that helped organize the school and made everything that we do possible, not only here at the school, but around our communities. So I think it's important to make sure that we keep that cycle going.
Work, hard work, hard work. You pack them to shoot. Hard work, hard work. You load them up. Hard work.
Not everyone can kick a ball, or run, or jump like us athletes.
Ben, everybody can do those things. And everyone can lend a helping hand to those that need it, but you don't have to be part of an organization to do it.
As the days get shorter and colder and winter fast approaches, all of us can help by donating to the annual Coats for Kids drive. Here's Ms. Goldsmith to tell you more.
Triton is taking part in the Coats for Kids drive from October 12th throughout January 8th. I sat down with Mrs. Goldsmith to find out more about it.
How many years has Triton participated in the Coats for Kids drive?
Well, this is the second year that we've been doing the Coats for Kids drive.
So what's the process of donating a coat?
So all you have to do is bring in a winter coat, good warm coat in good condition and drop it off either in the health office here or down in the library. We have 2 boxes.
So when someone donates a coat, does it go straight to the child or does it go through a process?
No, we collect the coats here, and then what we do is we bring them over to Anton's Cleaners, who's actually running this whole program, the Coats for Kids Drive. And they clean them, and then they take them to local charity organizations for distribution.
Do the coats go to just the kids or do they go to adults in need too?
No, we're asking for coats of all sizes from very small baby infants all the way to adults.
So why is it important to donate a coat?
Well, I think it's really important to donate a coat because we have a lot of need in this community. You wouldn't think so, but there are a lot of people who could use a winter coat. Might be in a different situation than some of us at high school. And I think it's always good to donate.
As the weather gets colder, let's think of the ones who don't have a coat to keep them warm. Go through your closets at home and find your lightly worn winter jackets and drop them off in the library or in the nurse's department for the less fortunate.
So Ben, you're an athlete. What are the sports that Triton offers here in the fall?
Well, there's soccer, of course, which is the best sport. Then there's football, field hockey, cross country, golf, and volleyball.
Is that it?
Yep.
You missed one.
I don't think so.
What about cheering?
Cheering's a sport.
Watch this next piece, and you decide.
There has been an ongoing debate about whether cheering is a sport or not, but what makes an activity a sport? Here's what we found out.
What makes cheering competitions so hard?
What makes it so hard is that we have to jump, tumble, and stunt all within 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And we have to have like a certain requirement of what is done in our routine. And also, we only get one shot to show that like we're the best. So if we mess up, we don't get like another chance. Say like in another sport where you have halftime.
Why do you think that cheering's a sport?
I think cheering's a sport because it's physical activity and we compete against other teams just like any other sports team would. And cheerleading is actually really dangerous because of the level of intensity of the skills that we do.
Why do some people think that cheering isn't a sport?
People think that cheering isn't a sport because they don't see how hard we work at practices. They only see us at the games and they don't see us on the mat when we actually compete.
What are some of the stereotypes of cheerleaders?
Like, people think of cheerleaders as being popular and usually ruling the school, and mostly dating a lot of boys.
What is a sport?
An activity involving physical skill in which an individual or team competes against another.
If you don't think cheering's a sport, then what would you call it?
I live in the same house as a cheerleader, and if I said it wasn't a sport, I'd probably get slapped. So I'm just gonna say cheering's a sport.
Ben, what are you doing?
That stuff's harder than it looks. Respect to the cheerleaders.
You know what else is harder than it looks?
Origami.
Do you do much origami?
No, that stuff's hard.
It turns out that VTV's own Emily Riley is a Rubiks Cube master. She can solve a Rubik's Cube puzzle in an impressive amount of time. Sarah Majacoma brings us this next story.
My name's Emily, I'm 16 years old, and I'm a Rubiks Cube master. I first got a Rubik's Cube a couple months ago, actually, because I used to play with my sisters, and then she went off to college, so I made my mom get me one. My fastest time solving a Rubik's Cube is probably about a minute or a minute 30 seconds. I practice solving Rubik's Cubes a lot, actually. Basically whenever I have free time, I'll just be playing with it and trying to get a faster time. Well, one day during the summer, actually, my older sister was kind of just sitting in the kitchen, and she called me over and she was just kind of like, Emily, do you want to learn how to solve this Rubik's Cube? And I said yes. So that's basically how it started. I like to solve Rubik's Cubes because it gives me something to do with my hands in a way. When I'm nervous, I can kind of play with it, and then it's easy to take around and I'll be the cool kid in school that brings my Rubik's Cube in my backpack and take it out during a study. So the first time I solved Rubik's Cube was during the summer, and it probably took me a couple hours to learn how to do it because there's just so many steps and a bunch of patterns to memorize, but it felt really good once I finally figured it out. My older sister is amazing at solving Rubik's Cubes, and she kind of taught me how to do it. I would definitely recommend learning how to solve a Rubik's Cube because it's really fun and it's easy to learn, and it gives you something to do when you're bored, or you can kind of take it out and look cool. If you were trying to learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube, I'd say just stick to it, and it's really easy once you get the hang of it, and it's fun, so just do it.
Respect, Emily.
That's it for this episode. But before we go, VTV is looking for a few students who would be interested in learning how to do play-by-play and colored commentary for broadcasts of Triton basketball games in the winter. Guys and girls are welcome.
Just send us an email to this address if you're interested. For my partner, Jack, I'm Ben. See you next week.
All right, Ben.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Rolling.
For real.
The annual coats for kids. That's just coats, correct?
No, it's Lions.
All right.
What are the sports that Triton offers here in the fall?
Well, soccer. Oh, wait.
An impressive amount of time. An impressive amount of time.
Respect to Emily.
Hey.
Respect to Emily.
Would you recommend Rubik's Cubes for other people?
I would definitely recommend you.
Respect to Emily. Respect to Emily.
All those boogers.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick to filmmaking.
Woo!
Respect to Emily.
I've developed a new stutter. It's actually impressive.
Respect to Emily.
That's it for this episode, but before we go, VTV is looking for... to do play-by-play and color commentary for broadcasts of Triton basketball games in the winter. Guys and girls are welcome.
Just...
Oh! Why the heck is you got me at the end?
Respect to Emily.
Respect to Emily.
Respect to Emily.